Time to move. I've grown too big for this little shell.
He had felt safe and snug in his shell, but now it was too snug. Hermit crab stepped out of the shell and onto the floor of the ocean. But it was frightening out in the open sea without a shell to hide in.
What if a big fish comes along and attacks me? I must find a new house soon.
Early in February, Hermit crab found just the house he was looking for. It was a big shell and strong. He moved right in, wiggling and waggling about inside it to see how it felt.
But it looks so plain.
In March, Hermit crab met some sea anemones. They swayed gently back and forth in the water.
How beautiful you are! Would one of you be willing to come and live on my house? It is so plain, it needs you.
I'll come.
Gently, Hermit crab picked it up with his claw and put it on his shell. In April, Hermit crab passed a flock of starfish moving slowly along the sea floor.
How handsome you are! Would one of you be willing to decorate my house?
I would.
Carefully, Hermit crab picked it up with his claw and put it on his house. In May, Hermit crab discovered some coral. They were hard and didn't move.
How pretty you are! Would one of you be willing to help make my house more beautiful?
I would.
Gingerly, Hermit crab picked it up with his claw and placed it on his shell. In June, Hermit crab came to a group of snails crawling over a rock on the ocean floor. They grazed as they went, picking gupalgi and bits of debris and leaving a neat path behind them.
How tidy and hardworking you are! Would one of you be willing to come and help clean my house?
I would. Happily, Hermit crab picked it up with his claw and placed it on his shell. In July, Hermit crab came upon several sea urchins. They had sharp, prickly needles.
How fierce you look! Would one of you be willing to protect my house?
I would.
Gratefully, Hermit crab picked it up with his claw and placed it near his shell. In August, Hermit crab and his friends wandered into a forest of seaweed.
It's so dark here.
How dim it is.
How gloomy it is.
How murky it is.
I can't see.
It's like nighttime.
In September, Hermit crab spotted a school of lantern fish darting through the dark water.
How bright you are! Would one of you be willing to light up our house?
I would.
And it swam over near the shell. In October, Hermit crab approached a pile of smooth pebbles.
How sturdy you are! Would you mind if I rearranged you?
Not at all.
Hermit crab picked them up one by one with his claw and built a wall around his shell.
Now my house is perfect.
But in November, Hermit crab felt that his shell seemed a bit too small. Little by little, over the year, Hermit crab had grown. Soon he would have to find another, bigger home. But he had come to love his friends, the sea anemone, the starfish, the coral, the sea urchin, the snail, the lanternfish, and even the smooth pebbles.
They have been so good to me. They are like a family. How can I ever leave them?
In December, a smaller hermit crab passed by.
I have outgrown my shell.
Would you know of a place for me?
I have outgrown my house, too. I must move on. You are welcome to live here, but you must promise to be good to my friends.
I promise.
The following January, Hermit crab stepped out, and the little crab moved in.
Couldn't stay in that little shell forever.
The ocean floor looked wider than he had remembered, but Hermit Crab wasn't afraid. Soon he spied the perfect halcyon big, empty shell. It looked, well, a little plain, but
Sponges, barnacles, clownfish, sand dollars, electric eels. Oh, there are so many possibilities. I can't wait to get started.